God loves you. Are you hearing me? I don't know who this word is for, but God is saying, I love you. I know you are weary. Your heart is sickened because of prolonged expectations. I know your predicament has lingered for a long time. You do not see a way out. You hoped it would work this time, but it failed again. God is saying, I love you. The other sets of people that do not feel deserving of this love, or you are part of the people that nothing seems to excite you, no joy. John 15:9-11 says, paraphrasing, abide in my love so that my joy would abide in you and your joy will be full. It is not a bliss problem, but a love problem, so it does not require drugs. It requires God. David was a man that understood the love of God. He was far from being perfect, but his heart was a perfect ground to receive the love of God. So he was called a man after God's own heart. Your victory, your stature, and your stamina comes from the extent of your knowledge of the love of God and dwelling in that space. Don't let betrayal, heartbreak, jealousy, or condescending words against you take you out of that space. No matter what happens, stay in love. Love is a state of heart that I am intertwined with the heart and the will of the Father who is love. It is a conviction that I subject my entire being to believe that God loves me, and it's a stand that I choose to reciprocate that love. Faith is to believe in God, His person, His ability, and His capacity. But love is to totally trust that God knows what is best for me more than I do, and He is faithful. This means that if that affliction does not carry within it the purposes of God, the jealousy of God would avert it. 1 Corinthians 10 verse 13 says that God is faithful, and we know faithfulness is a love language. It says, for He will not let me to be tempted beyond what I can bear. Even when it becomes unbearable, there's an emergency escape door at the corner He places so I can stand it. What we see from this verse is that it is in the jealousy of God to select the trials I will pass through, and I should trust that the fact that I am passing through this challenge means that He has carefully assessed it, and He has seen that, number one, that I have within me the grace and the tenacity to see it through. Even if I do not see it, I trust that He has. Number two, that the trial is a necessary pathway to my advancement and to my prosperity, mentally, character-wise, spiritually, and probably economically. Genesis 50 verse 20. And lastly, we understand from Romans 5:3-5 that the trial brings me to a deeper relationship with His Spirit. You see, my love for my wife is not because we have a perfect relationship, but mostly because we have been through some storms together. Abide in His love. When you see a storm as a wind that will pass, it loses its grip on you. This storm too will pass. God loves you. God loves you.